Hello and welcome at the American Motors Guy. All right, now I created this channel to talk about AMC, American Motors, the cars, show you some and give you a lot of information as I get it and teach everybody else a little bit about AMC. Now you may be a little more knowledgeable in American Motors than I, and that's fine. But I'm here to try to spread the word and help those who are new to the AMC lineup of the cars. So, all right, we're going to talk about parts suppliers. Didn't see that one coming, now did you? All right, so there's a vast supply of parts out there in this world. Now, one of the things that I did find out is, now I am the vice president of the Tennessee Valley Region AMC Club. And this year in 2023, we were the host for the AMO Nationals. Now, what's AMO? All right, well, we'll get to that in another video. But American Motors Owners Association, well, you said AMO, not AMOA. Well, they just drop off the A and just go with AMO, just like AMC. All right, so that explains that, right? All right. Well, we hosted this year's 2023 convention here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And we had 201 cars come to our event, and 101 were judged and 100 were displayed. That's a pretty good little showing. So, but what I really noticed was the parts vendors. We had over 100 parts vendors. I could not believe it. There was trailers as far as the eye could see and no place to really park everybody, and I just ended up with a cluster of a mess because they just kept coming. The parts vendors, the cars, we never expected that amount. So what we did do with all of that being done is, wow, we're going to have bigger places to hold these events because people aren't driving their AMC as much. Well, some do and some don't. And that's fine. I drive some of mine. If I go on a very, very long trip, I might tow it. But it's very rare that I do tow. I like to drive them. Well, with all that being said, one of the other things that I noticed was, like I said, the parts vendors. Okay, we had so many people out there selling their parts, whether they were individuals or actual companies. And we did a little Facebook video and walked around and we took some photos and we did a live video and we did a little bit like that just to kind of give everybody a little idea of what happened. Well, the thing about Facebook is the videos only stay up for so long and then they just drop off. That's nice, but when you really want something to hang out for people to see, it doesn't stay long enough. So that's another reason why this channel was created, because I can actually take you around and show you what it goes on at a convention or at a regional event and show you the cars and let you actually take a visual tour or even a visual ride in the car. We'll see what happens. We'll see how everybody helps me out with this, or if they're going to fight me tooth and nail. Who knows? All right, so we're going to get back to parts. Now, all of us have been there. We've loaded up our tools. We've packed them up into the truck or car, and we got our stuff together, and it's 1, 2 in the morning, and hey, we're heading off for a 2.5-hour trip to get to this particular junkyard, and we're going to stop and get some breakfast, and they open at this time, and I want to be there when they open the door or open the gate. And some of us have even gone further to get that particular part, the part that we're hunting. And I don't know how many of y'all are out there, but how many of y'all remember that hotline? Hey, I need a 38, I need a 38 Ford, I need a 38 Ford front end. You just didn't. It was that kind of thing, and they would pick that phone up, I got it. The days of the hotline are gone. We all have the internet now. We have everything else to help us find these parts. Well, apparently it ain't working that good, because every single day there are over 70 different AMC Facebook pages to try to keep up with. And every time I join one, there is someone on there going, hey, I'm new to this. Where do you get parts? So I figured I would create a video to tell everybody where to get your parts. Now, when we talk about NOS parts, okay, well, what are NOS? New old stock. Okay, what's that? That means it's still in the box. It's still in the box. Very rare can you come across parts that are still in the box. You know, they got to be out there. So you find them, you look for them, you hunt them down. And some of you guys will pay big money for something that is still NOS. That's your thing. Nothing against you. I could care less. Now, American Motors doesn't have one of those magazines or books that you would pick up and, like, MCL or whatever you want to call them, you know, 'cause I can't even really say their name because I ain't giving them no time. But anyway, I know I screwed up the letters, but it's on purpose. All right, so we don't have that. All right, so now what do you do? Okay, well, then you had to go out hunt the internet. Okay, well, where do you go? Well, you can search AMC Parts Vendors, suppliers. You might get one or two. You don't know. And you don't know who to go to. You know, are they trustworthy? Most of these guys are extremely trustworthy. So we're going to talk about each individual company and their little niche. Each one has a little niche. And when I say niche, their little claim to fame, or their little thing that they can put on their company that steps them apart from the other. So maybe that little niche is exactly what you're looking for, and that's what's going to draw you to that particular company. So, with all that being said, when Chrysler took over in 1987 is when it was officially bought. They took over in 1988, I believe. All of the AMC parts that were in all these dealerships, it didn't please Chrysler very much. Now, they held on to some of the parts there for a little bit, but probably by 1989, 1990, they were telling them to get out of there because there was no Pentastar, or it didn't say the Chrysler Corporation on the box anywhere. So even though they owned AMC, they just wanted it to go away. The only thing they cared about was Jeep, which is fine. But it really put a hurting on us guys who really care and love these cars. Now, most of us, whether you did or didn't, some of us, we just happen along and hey, I ended up getting a 83 Spirit, or hey, my first car was a 72 Javelin. Hey, whatever. Well, I grew up in this world. My grandfather started at a Hudson dealer. My dad started at a Rambler dealer when he got into the business, and then he stuck with them until Chrysler. So I've been with them my whole entire life. I know nothing but American Motors and Hudson. That's all I've ever been around. So that being said, I want everyone to understand that I'm not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to American Motors, but I do own them. I have driven them. They've been in my life the whole entire time. So I just want to be able to pass along basic information so that everyone can enjoy these cars even more. So when we talk about the parts, I want to talk about all of the companies: Hudson, Nash, Rambler, AMC, and even Renault. And Renault, yeah, there's a few Renault Alliances out there that are still rolling around, and a few Encores, and I ain't seen an Encore in forever. But those little Renault Alliance convertibles, they're cute little cars, and it kind of reminds me of a little Metropolitan, but not quite. Just You just don't see them often, and they're pretty cool when you do see one. All right. We get into the first parts company. Each one of these companies want to offer that personal touch. They want to be able to talk to you on the phone. Yeah, all of them have an online catalog, or they can direct you and they show you on the computer exactly what each part is and how it's available and everything else. But it's that personal touch they actually want to give you. They want to be able to make sure that you're getting the right part and that you're going to be completely satisfied. They might even want to know what color it is, because some of these guys went out when Chrysler took over and they had to buy an entire dealership of all of the AMC parts that were in their inventory in the parts rooms. They just said, come get it. So some of these guys were buying it as an allotment. Some guys were buying it, I mean, they paid pretty pennies for some of this stuff. Well, some of those companies, we'll talk about them as well. But the first one we're going to talk about is Doug Knoll and the American Parts Depot, APD. Now, American Parts Depot, their claim is the largest supply in the world of AMC parts. They've been in business for over 33 years, and he has NOS, reproduction, and some select used parts. That's awesome that he offers all three. All right. He has an online service, but like anybody else, he'd like to do that personal touch and make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. All right. So contact American Parts Depot. They will help you out. Speak to Doug and you'll be very happy. All right. So who's next? And we're trying to go in alphabetical order because that's just kind of how I did it. All right. AMC Acres. Well, AMC Acres is formerly Galvin's parts. Rambler, he's Nash Rambler. Galvin's was Nash Rambler parts. He also had some AMC stuff. Now, Galvin's put out a notice that, hey, at the end of this year, and I'm talking about 2022, that I'm done. I'm retiring. And lo and behold, Austin and Callie Hosterman are the new owners of Galvin's. Now, Galvin's shut down and they created a new name called AMC Acres. Now, Galvin's was in Oregon, and AMC Acres, where the Callie and Austin live, is in Colorado. So they had to load 7 tractor trailer loads and haul it from Oregon all the way to Colorado and turn around and set the whole business back up again. Well, they got that part done, and now they're open for business, but they're still not finished with the website. So get in touch with AMC Acres. If they don't have your part, maybe they can help you find or talk to one of the other companies and help you find what you need. There you have 2. Okay, so there's 2 companies. Well, no, there's actually more, and we'll get into those too. All right, so you have American Parts Depot, APD. Then you have AMC Acres. All right, so who else is there? All right, and AMC Acres has NOS, reproduction, and some slightly select used parts. All right, so how about American Performance Parts, AMC Lives? Now, AMC Lives, they have a complete vast inventory of parts to update your AMC. All right, and one item that really grabbed my attention was the disc brake conversion kit. That's a pretty awesome kit. And I've seen a bunch of people on Facebook going, hey, where can I get disc brakes for my Rambler or for my Hornet or for my Nash? Okay, well, some of these parts will fit on Nashes. I'm not completely sure. But I do know that he has the Rambler set up the Hornet setup and all that sort of stuff. And it's an awesome setup to have a complete kit delivered to your door, and boom, you bolt it on and you rock and roll. So keep them in mind when you want to do something a little more up to date. All right, so that's what his niche is what we call it, is that he provides going up to date on your car. All right. Now, who else is out there? Well, you have AMC Warehouse. AMC Warehouse, well, that's Alex Gorlick. Their claim is they are the Rolls Royce of reproduction parts. He does not accept a sub part. If it's flawed in any way, he won't accept it. He wants top quality. And that's how his claim to fame is, that anything that he has reproduced, it is of the highest quality. So keep them in mind if you want a high quality reproduction part. All right. So you have AMC Warehouse. You have American Performance Parts, AMC Lives. Then you had Galvin's or AMC Acres. And then you had American Parts Depot. So what is that, 4? Wow. No, that's 4. Right, 4. Okay, well, are we done yet? No, we're not even done. So how about Blazer? Blazer Auto. Now, Blazers was a former Nash Rambler dealer. And with all the chaos and everything, I guess they got out of the dealership business and went directly into the parts business. Now, what they did was extremely smart. They went around to 660 different dealerships and bought their inventory. His claim to fame is, I am the largest supplier of NOS parts. That's an amazing statement. And with 660 different dealerships, he probably has what you're looking for. That is an awesome outtake. Okay, are we done yet? No. So you have Blazers. All right, well, who else? APD, American Parts Depot. Then you had AMC Warehouse. Okay, then you had American Performance Products. Then you got AMC Acres. Okay, so we're up to 5. All right, well, who's next? Okay, well, that'd be Kennedy American. And he said, what? Kennedy American? All right, he is the worldwide supplier of parts for all American Motors cars. They have NOS quality reproduction parts and a selected used parts. They continue to invest in reproducing even more needed parts for our AMC cars. So Jeff is big in the game, and he'll pretty much be at the car shows. You can find him there, along with usually AMC Acres comes along. Some of these guys really travel around with the whole group, the AMC boys, and you'll find them out there at one of the national meets or the AMC races, and there is all kinds of AMC shows throughout the continental United States, and even some abroad in Australia, and I believe New Zealand has had a few shows. So some of these places and some of these things, these guys really have to hunt down and find these parts. Okay, so what else is there? Okay, well, what about D&D AMC Parts Broker? Now that's Dan Scherer. Now Dan Scherer, he is a broker. So what he does is he has a inventory of his parts that is constantly changing, who's trying to make sure that everyone gets what they need. That's his deal. That's his glitch. So he goes out, you looking for a part. You go, I can't find it. Well, hopefully he's the guy who knows where to get it or can tell you where to get it. And if he doesn't know, he does everything in his power to help you find that part. So hats off to D&D. That is an awesome service. So keep that up. All right, now we have old Eddie Stakes. Now Eddie is the original AM's American Motors guy. Eddie is the original. You can't beat Eddie. And we tried to get in touch with Eddie there for a bit. He's been a little difficult to get in touch with, But Eddie Steaks, if you have questions or you need a few pieces or you need to know another list of AMC Parts vendors and stuff, you can go to Eddie's page, which his website page is planethoustonamx.com. planethoustonamx.com. He is the original AMC guy. All right. Now, what if you wanted to do a complete changeover to your suspension system and you no longer want to deal with all of the other crap, and you're like, let's just rip all that mess out and let's put coilovers and all that in it. Okay, well then you're on your computer and you're trying to figure out what size this needs to be and that needs to be. No, you don't. You can pick up your phone, you can go to Control Freaks. Control Freaks, yes, Control Freaks. They have built AMC coilover systems for the entire front ends, for Rambler Americans, the Rebels, the AMXs and Javelins. They have a complete set. Boom, bolted in, there you go, you're done. It's took care of, and it will ride like a 2023 in the front end. Well, man, be nice to get that rear end done too. Well, hey, guess what? They carry that too, 4-link. They got it set up. You can get the whole entire setup, change your whole suspension system, and have a 2023 AMC, right? Okay. All you gotta do is add a little EFI and hey, you are 2023. All right, now when we talked about all these different companies and stuff, there are some that have special services. So who has special services? All right, well, what about Classic Car Radio Restoration and Brent Bell? Now, Brent has been posting stuff on Facebook there for a little bit, and I've watched him closely, and I've seen some of his restorations that he's done. He's done a few AMC radios, and man, what a difference. He will actually pull your radio if it needs to be completely sandblasted, polished and cleaned. Everything is done. He redoes all the chrome. They make it look perfect. But inside, it's all 2023 technology. And you could have it upgraded with Bluetooth and have AM turned to FM. They can do it all, and it's so well done. It does not even change the alter of the actual radio itself. It still looks like that radio. It operates like that radio. You cannot tell a difference. It is awesome, the work that they do. Now, they also have another company, which is Mr. Heater Box, and they will restore your heater box to perfection. Everything is done, the gaskets, the seals, the felts, everything is changed. It is done to the T, sent back to you in absolute perfect condition. So hats go off to Classic Car Radio Restorations and his other business, which is Mr. Heater Box. All right. So when I created this little video, I didn't want to pick one company over the other, just like I had said earlier. I wanted the viewer to be able to determine where they want to spend their money. Now, the way I do things is, if I'm going to buy a few parts, I roll the wheel and I will spread it around. I'll buy from this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and the next month I'll buy from this guy, this guy, and this guy. And I try to keep it even because these guys support what we do. We love these cars, we care for these cars, and if it wasn't for the gentlemen and ladies who do what they do, we couldn't survive, because the box stores, they don't even include us. And what I mean by that is, I have actually gone into one of the box stores, I walked up to the counter and said, yes, I have a 1973 AMC, and the woman directly looked at me and said, GMC? No, ma'am, AMC. GMC? Hey, can I get somebody else to help me? And everybody else was kind of busy. I got aggravated and I left. I just could not deal with that. It just was not in her vocabulary. It was not in her wheelhouse to be able to put an A in front of MC. it had to have that G. So no, it does not. But in fairness, and in the fun of it, I went into the NAP store, if you know what I mean. I can't say their names. I got to make sure that I do this right and legal. But anyway, I went into the NAP store, and now they call me the GMC guy. And it's funny because I know them, they know me, I've known them for years, but everybody gets a laugh out of it. It's okay. But as long as we're all thinking it's funny, that's fine too. Now, there are some horror stories from junkyards and everything else. But we don't want to talk about any of that. You have the information now, all of the different AMC companies that are out there, and I'm sure there are more. Don't forget, there's still the individual guys out there. Talk to these guys. They can help you as well too. But like I said about the shipping thing, keep in mind there are companies out there who will go pick up your item because they're already there, they're coming your way, and they can drop it off within 100 miles or 200 miles within, and you pick it up and you pay them and it's rock and roll. So keep that in mind too. Now those are the individual shipping, not somebody like UPS or something like that. But these are individual shippers who do different things across the country, and that's what they do. If you can get in touch with some of those guys, it can help you out greatly. All right, now we wanted to talk a little bit about having everyone join my channel, subscribing, liking, making comments. If you think I'm doing a good job, then please like it, please make a comment, and please subscribe. All right, the next video will be at the Hudson Terraplane Show this weekend in Townsend, Tennessee. And we will talk to a few of the Hudson owners and a bunch of the AMC guys, because we're going to do a joint show and we're going to get together and have a grand old time. We had an awesome time last year, and I hope we have an awesome time this year. And we'll also going to do a video on AMO. And we'll talk about the benefits of being an AMO member as well. So we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me. All right, bye-bye.